Hey everybody, welcome to part 4 of my StreamOverlay series. Today we're going to go over how to bring everything into OBS and how to update your file and how to get OBS to acknowledge the update, such as the background, the assets, whatever you're doing. So I was going to make a separate scene in OBS, but then when I recorded this the first time, it blacked it out because if I click this, you're not going to see what I see. So yeah, we're just going to stick to what I'm actually using, which is the tutorial art recording. But it's the same concept, it's nothing different. The only thing you want to do is make sure you hit the plus icon and make a new scene. You can name it whatever you want. And then here, all we need to do is hit add and display capture, because you're going to need that later. But if you don't have to do that right now. But when you're done adding the display capture, I'm going to leave it on for now, so you're going to see this for a while, so I apologize. But I don't know how to tell OBS to record things, even though I'm clicking on other scenes, which, whoops. Oh well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit a new source and go to image, and we're wanting this the stream background, and the stream background is going to be it's basically layering that we're doing for the sources. So whatever is the bottom layer will be in the very background. So we're gonna go to browse and we're gonna hit, actually hold on 1 second. So I got the stream BG. I'm gonna right click in properties and under image file, browse. So I had to resave the image to what it originally was so I can properly show you how to change it in Publisher and save it out again. Now we're saved under here. Gonna open that. That looks good to me, looks good to you. I really hope this is still showing. We're gonna put that in the background by clicking on the down arrow in the sources. And the display capture is still here. Perfect, we're gonna leave that alone for now. And we're gonna hit the icon here, and we're going to do one more image. We're gonna name this, I'm just gonna name it assets. And hit, oh, I can add existing. I'll do that, I'll add the existing one. And then I can move this down. Move it down a little bit below. Perfect. So we need to layer this like a sandwich. Actually, no, it is layered right. I'm sorry. We have our background, the display capture, which is the inception part here, and the assets, which is these little cartoon guys here. But we need to resize the display capture to fit. So we're going to click and drag on the red box. We're going to line it up here. And as you can see, it doesn't fit perfectly. I did that on purpose so I could show you guys how to change this and make edits and all that fun stuff, and then import it back into OBS. So I'm going to minimize the OBS, and you should be able to see what I'm doing now. So here, I have to ungroup it all. Clicking on my border, and I'm basically going to be doing 1920 by 1080, which is my screen size. And then I'm going to shift click and just drag it and make my new size here. And then shift drag it to center it on the overall canvas. And while I'm here, I'm going to redo my edits that I did before. I can't believe it. Oh well, it happens. Recording can be a nightmare sometimes. I'm going to group this stuff just to make my life easier. And then I'm going to move that up. Oh, did not group. Group that again. Here we go. Move this up because I have a lot of space right now, so I can actually make a lot of this bigger, or my screen capture size bigger. So we're going to move this down a little bit, and then we're going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to click and drag everything, make sure my image is here already selected. I'm just going to group this, make life a little bit easier. And just like we did in the previous video, we're going to export selection without background. So once you make your changes in whatever program, just go ahead and re-export. Now I'm going to overwrite the already existing image. But in the future, if you're making changes that are only temporary, such as you're making a Christmas theme or a Halloween theme or a special event type stream or overlay, you don't want to override your previous file. You want to save it out as a separate working file and a separate image file. So make sure you keep that in mind, because that does affect how you handle things in OBS. So because this is the same, because I'm making permanent changes, I'm not going to be really worrying about anything that I might forget or change for the worse, because I've already done this once, so I know what I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and overwrite that. So the nice thing is, when you overwrite that file, OBS automatically updates it, so I didn't have to really do anything but update this. So it still isn't fitting right, so I need to fix that. This is much better. Turn that back on. So yeah, I mean, I can obviously still tweak this. If you want to make really delicate moves on this, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's not perfectly centered, but I think that's good for now. Alright, so as you can see, I've got that going. And if you want, you can turn everything on and off with the eye tool, with the eye icon. And this is good to do because if you're streaming something and maybe this is in the way, you can't see what I'm doing or what you're doing, or a viewer can't. Like right here, if I want to show you the width and the height, these assets are in the way. Now normally, if you're playing a game, this stuff probably won't matter much. Most likely it's going to be information that either isn't there, only appears during a certain event or a button click or something, so you don't really need to see it. Because most games, you know, you'll have your health bar, your, I don't know, all of your info on the bottom. And as you're flipping through maybe your inventory or something, you might have alerts set up down here. All that fun stuff. You don't, it really depends what you care most about for your viewers to see. For me, I rather have something I can turn on and off. Because normally when I'm working in creative, this is just a brush preset. You don't really need to see all of these because I don't normally go through them all. I usually use the pop-up palette for my hotkeys and stuff like that for all the brushes I want to access. So this is perfectly fine for me. Obviously your layout will be different, and that's fine. So yeah, as you can see, once you make an edit, whatever programming you're doing, and as long as, let's go to the properties again, as long as this file path is the same, it'll update it automatically for you, which is really nice to me, because then I don't have to sit there and worry about, let's say, I don't know, re-importing it every 2 seconds, because I make changes that fast sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's nice, and I'll save it. I'm like, oh no, it's not, you know. And the other thing you could also do, if in Publisher specifically, you could add a page. Actually, we're just going to duplicate it, sorry. We're going to duplicate that. Come on. Oh, there it is. Alright, so if I want to start adding other things here, hey look, I have a rainbow. Change that. I don't know what in the world this could be. This could be, I don't know. Well, I could actually, this is actually kind of cool looking. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'll think of something. So let's say I want to export this, right? And make sure the assets aren't there. I actually don't want to delete it. I want to hide it. Oops, hit the wrong key. Create layers and hide. Is it still there? Okay, cool. Actually, yeah, I will delete that then. Goodbye. So we're gonna delete that, and we'll just put this here. We'll just pretend like this is some health bar or something. Like maybe every stream, it can be like a viewer goal like 5, 10, 15, 20 or something, and you can see live what the goal is or something. I don't know. We'll go ahead and select all this, remove file, export, just like before. Now we want to make sure we have selection without background, because as you can see, now that we have 2 pages, it's current spread, all pages are current page. We could do current page, but if you have something that's transparent and it's not going to be part of the final design, you want it without background. So I'm going to do that just to build up the habit. If you're watching, hit export, and I'm going to say this is StreamOverlay. I'm going to name it, oops, alternate. Now in OBS, we have 2 options. We can either replace the image under Stream BG, the first one we did, or we can make it easier on ourselves and just add a new one. And the reason you would want to add a new one, okay, I'm not even gonna name it, I'm gonna leave it alone, is because, oops, that down, did not show up. I didn't hit it, sorry. Open, okay. The reason you would want to keep these 2 separate is because if this is a temporary one for a special event, like holidays and stuff like I was talking about before, you would want to turn this on and off when you're done. You don't want to redo all this. It's just too much work. It's much easier to delete a temporary source than it is to delete a permanent one and keep importing it every time you have to go and make your special whatever. You know, think ahead, plan ahead. Do you really want to be wasting? I mean, I know it's only a minute or so, but it's still time consuming, especially if it's a lot of stuff you're changing. Alright. So that's pretty much it for the StreamOverlay, like bringing it into OBS and exporting it and stuff, and how to change the file. The nice thing is it's really easy. It's not as difficult as it looks. The only difficulty is really designing it and creating it. That's the most difficult part. And then fine-tuning it and everything. And if you really want to go the extra mile to make sure this looks good to a viewer, let me see if this expands. It does. You can blow it up to like I just did, and make sure all this text and stuff is properly visible. But I also recommend recording and then playing it back full screen to really see how it would look on someone else's computer or whatever, full screen, and make sure that everything is legible. Obviously on tablets and phones, a lot of this stuff probably won't look right or be really visible, so that would be something you have to take into consideration as well. So far, even though my streams, I don't do them very often yet, I have a smaller viewer base, and most of them watch on the PC or a computer and not like a mobile device, so I don't worry about that. And most people will watch this stuff on a PC anyway. Like, I only ever watch a Twitch stream on my phone if I might be cooking or something else and I really want to watch it, but it's not often I do that because it's not the same to me. But that's just me. There might be some extras coming your way for the StreamOverlay series, but otherwise this is pretty much it. So hopefully you've learned how to make your assets in Krita, how to export them from Krita and to bring them into Publisher, and finally bring them into OBS, and then how to handle changes that you want to make without totally making life difficult. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And make sure to like and subscribe for more content. Everyone's being loud outside now. I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is today. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.